What was the Game Life thing? They had 600 fucking subs and they just lost it. They're like, well, fuck it, we're running the world, boys.
It was
yeah.
actually 200 or 300. I think it was 300.
Wow.
Damn.
That's eerily similar.
Yeah, but it was 300 at the same time, but they got brand deals though, didn't they?
Yeah, but it was, then again, it was the early days, right?
Yeah,
Not
exactly.
brand deals, but
They were noticed, I guess, by like more mainstream of the time, is from what I remember.
yeah, they were.
Yeah.
It was remarkable.
I haven't watched the video you made on it yet because I've been busy, but I remember this from the Guru Larry video, actually, where he talked about like the 3 YouTubers and whatever. He had like PewDiePie in the thumbnail and he mentioned Game Life. And
Yeah,
I saw Game
remember
Life
that
and
one.
I was like, are you fucking serious? These motherfuckers exist? Like, are you kidding
No,
with me?
I remember
Yeah, I
seeing the
know.
video and going like, "Oh, okay, I know number 5 and 4 and game number 1, Game Life. What the fuck is Game Life? It's just a Rivering Tale now."
You know, that is true. But audience, yes, we are live. We are definitely recording. So I figured I might as well keep that beginning in because Game Life is one of those many topics that come up today and anything else. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the podcast. We've got me, we've got Kyle and Amar, and we've got our friend here from the rabbit hole that we found him in. Would you like to introduce yourself, buddy?
Hello. My name is Frederick Knutson. I'm the creator of a series on YouTube entitled Down the Rabbit Hole, a series of sort of miniature documentaries.
Very comprehensive documentaries, might I say, on
Yeah,
topics
typically.
that.
You put
Like-
more effort into your documentaries than I would ever feel comfortable looking into some of these subjects.
I'll say this: I appreciate the videos because they're very non-biased, which is a very hard thing to do
Yes.
in any situation.
So, this is
Especially considering
actually-
the thing you cover. Holy shit.
that's just kind of a myth that I've been meaning to dispel. My documentaries are far from unbiased, especially in terms of topics that have a ton of information because as soon as I decide that I'm going to cull information for the sake of brevity or what have you, or to help keep the narrative cohesive and keep things like focused, I'm making a decision based on bias. And so, for example, a lot of people say, like, I'm unbiased, while at the same time I'm framing people like Darkside Phil and Chris Chan in a sympathetic light. Well, that sympathetic light is a construct, and it is a construct based on my personal bias.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Fair enough.
Right now I see it, yeah.
I mean, the way that I picture it is that when I look at anybody, because this is the sort of thing, when I saw your post on, like, not your post, but your video on Kiwi Farms, in my head immediately I was like, oh, it's going to be somebody else just pretty much A-logging or whatever the whole time. It's going to be somebody just shitting on the guy for no fucking, like, I get that there's reasons to shit on people that are, you know, generally shitty individuals to a lot of people in real life, right? Whether they know it or not. And the thing is that the people that usually, it's sort of like that quote where, you know, you look into the abyss long enough and it consumes you. Most of the people who talk about this shit fall into that abyss. Like, you remember the whole SOK drama, right? Obviously,
Sure, yeah.
So I actually had interactions with the SOK. I think we all fucking did, to be honest, a long time ago, where they invited us and they turned out to be as bad, if not worse, than fucking DSP with the whole blackmailing shit that went into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So when you have somebody covering something, immediately when I saw your video, I was like, oh man, don't fucking do it. So when I opened it, I was like, all right, well, first off, in the first 5 seconds, I was like, it's not a mic that goes, it's not that or whatever. So I'm not hearing that. You know, that's a positive. And then it was comprehensive information. Yeah, there was obviously bias, right, in a sense of, you know, being sympathetic or not towards a given subject, but it was information that was delivered that I could take and interpret on my own free will, rather than being forced down my throat that this person was effectively bad or if they were good, right, of the cow themselves. And I can't believe I'm talking like that. Holy fuck. When you like, now that I'm realizing I'm like in my house alone and like I'm speaking this and it's just wow. Anyways, but I want to look at people like, you know, DSP and Spoony that actually had it all, that don't have the amounts of negativity in going on personally in their life. At least it would appear from the outside looking in, and they do it themselves. They cause it. They force their fall of grace upon themselves through their own action. That's honestly the most interesting thing to me when it comes to the internet and like internet personalities, because I'm one of those people that will always say there are some people that do not deserve popularity whatsoever. They can't handle it. You know, it's sort of the thing. They get that flash in the pan popularity, and they're unable to truly handle the negatives and the positives for it, which there are positives and there are negatives in the sense that, and I don't even consider it a negative when, you know, you have people giving you criticisms on your work. I find that to be the biggest positive ever. But what I notice in a lot of people like Spoony or DSP is that when they hear that criticism or that negativity thrown their way, they get so super defensive about it that it just prevents them from being a more likable person and, in effect, making their content better. You know, I'll be one of those people where throughout the years, I've been given suggestions in the comment sections by like a random commenter, or I've been given a private message. And I've taken that exact criticism, applied it for the next set of videos, you know, the next month and the month after, and it worked. You know, that it's being able to open yourself up and saying, okay, I fucked up there. Let's realize how I can rewind, do it again, and do it better the next time. And that's what gets you the better product versus shutting down and complaining about YouTube's mistakes or fucking the system screwing you over, or, you know, you guys suck, or donate to my fucking Patreon, that kind of shit.
Don't tell me how to play. It goes back to that. It goes back to that. You just don't
Perfect
take it.
Phrase.
You're never gonna dance.
Oh,
It's
exactly.
that.
In my own YouTube comments, I've since stopped reading them as much just because there are so many all the time, and I can't possibly catch up. But I do still read them occasionally, and I used to avidly. And I was able to delineate two different kinds of criticism. Three, really. The first was, you know, you're a fucking cackhead, and I fucking hate you.
I fucking
You're a
love
piece
those.
of
What
shit.
lives at? What lives at? Okay.
Yeah, that's the kind that you can write off, largely because when someone gets on, I got a lot of them in my mistakes videos. You know, plenty of like you look like a faggot with that hair. You know, plenty of that.
Oh my god!
Like super common. But what I realized after a while is that those kinds of comments aren't a reflection of me as much as they are the person writing the comment. And those can be reasonably and safely ignored, especially when you realize that it's not about you, it's about them.
There's no criticism there. It's like, what are you gonna get? Are you calling me a faggot? Congratulations, whoop-de-doo. Let's go to the next comment, right? It's like, what do I change? How do I not become a faggot?
Right? It's like, hey, if that's on an offer, leave.
Yeah.
No, that should just get lost in the sea of comments. Just imagine, Muda. How many times have you seen Muda Hard in your comments?
I've seen that. I've seen Indian fag. I've seen telemarketer. I've seen a bunch of things. So, you know, it's
To
not.
be totally fair here, to be totally fair, the Muda Heart comment permeates throughout all of us. During my streams, I have it all the time. During Muda's videos and streams, it happens. It doesn't matter in this group where we go. Muda Heart follows.
Yeah, it's one of those like long-term memes at this point. But you get those comments. You got the faggot comment. I got the telemarketing, fucking Indian retard, all that stupid shit. Do you own T-Series? I get that. It's happening.
Well,
It's
I
happening.
get the
everywhere.
Mexican one too.
Actually, I would like, if you would not mind, I would like to read my favorite comment.
Oh please!
Oh my
you
God.
gotta throw it on the Discord. You gotta show it to people too.
Okay. Okay, I got it. Let me see. I just need to copy the link real quick.
Let me drink first if I'm gonna spit it out.
All right. Here you go. May I read it? May I read it aloud?
Oh, absolutely.
Go for it.
Oh yes.
I just unsubbed. I was not able to imagine how pathetic you look before. Bye-bye. How can you have the balls to judge? You are as sexy as Chris Chan. Disgusting face, disgusting mind. Not funny anymore since you are garbage. Just hide yourself. What is the fuck? You are a ghoul.
Man.
What is the fuck?
What
Man,
is the fuck? You
Yeah,
are
what-
a ghoul.
What did I just read? My Immortal?
When I read disgusting mind in it, I'm like, what, you into fucking your sex dolls too? Like, what's going on, man? What do you mean by disgusting mind?
So there's an extra bit to this. This guy comes back a video later and says, "Do a video on this." I can't remember. I can't even remember what he
I
said.
love those. I love those
Told me.
comments.
Told me to do a video on something. So clearly he's still around.
Yeah, I love those comments where it's like, "Kill yourself," and the next video is like, can you please open? Can you increase the audio a little bit? It's hard to hear you next time. I'm like, motherfucker, what? I thought you called me a tard last time. What's wrong with you?
Maybe it was a different person in the system, man.
Yeah, dude, no, he's gonna no. When you call him out, he's gonna be like, "Oh no, my sister was using my account." Bull fucking shit.
Oh, I was hacked, guys. I was totally hacked.
Oh, that's
No,
another common thing by Lolcows. The "I was hacked" argument. Fuck, you brought it up so fucking well.
I love it. I love that argument so much. Especially, oh wait, what was that one where the furry one where he's like, I was
Carol?
hacked,
Oh,
or
yeah,
I was
Carol.
spoofed or something, and in the top of his fucking phone screen,
It's
it
a
shows
VPN,
his
yeah.
fucking VPN.
Yeah, I'm hacked by Iranian terrorists as he's connected through Iran. Well, fucking what a meme, dude. No,
That was beautiful.
Did Spoony ever do that thing where, like, remember the Twitter thing that who remembers the one where he's like gonna rape one of his coworkers or something? That
Oh, yeah.
that
Oh my
thing?
god.
You don't know
Oh,
that?
yeah.
Oh fuck, that was a
No.
great. Okay, so this is what I remember from the Spoony thing, because I was never a like super avid Spoony watcher, but I remember this from the ED article that immediately cataloged it when it happened. This was way back in the day, but he made this tweet on like Twitter, like this set of tweets where he's like, "Oh well, something about raping his coworkers, chaining them in his like basement, and having love." Go ahead.
Yeah,
It was
it was a joke in poor taste, but it wasn't.
Right.
It's really weird to me that it caught so much attention because it wasn't really even that extreme for Channel Awesome creators back then. But yeah, it was just like a joke, like, "Hey, like I'll chain you up in." It was another content creator. "I'll chain you up in my basement and love you my way," and making
Exactly.
dumb BDSM.
It is, but at the same time, like
didn't Doug write like a rape joke between Linkara and
dude, Lindsay wrote a fucking
and
rape
Lindsay-
song, so let's be honest here. Come on.
yeah, that too.
Like, nobody
I'm
at Channel
not- I'm
Awesome's
not-
innocent.
I'm certainly not going to say that it was a good joke, but
Oh,
I
no, of
will
course
say
not.
that it caught an inordinate reaction, and that wasn't really the one thing that did Spoony in. It was a culmination of him being abusive to his fans.
That was
He-
just his shooting Fransford and
Don't
Yeah,
tell
that
me
was-
how to play. God, I love that Alien Isolation fucking stream,
Yes.
dude. God. But yeah,
Right.
you know,
Okay.
go ahead.
So I was talking about the different kinds of feedback. So there's the first, what is the fuck, you are a ghoul. That's like category, 1. The
Yeah.
second category is, I really didn't like this video. I didn't like how it felt, and the subject matter really wasn't pertinent to me. That kind of comment can be useful, but often the problem isn't that the video is bad, it's that the video was not made for that person. Not every piece of media is made for every person, right?
exactly.
Yeah, my dad's not gonna
Like,
watch
I'm
down
not-
the rabbit hole. Let's be honest.
Exactly. Like I'm not pitching my show to your dad. So if your
Yeah.
dad were to leave a comment being like, "I really didn't get the point of talking about this weird fat guy on the internet," it's like that. Well, it's not for you. If you're
Yeah.
not interested, then you shouldn't watch the video. And it's like, I'm not insulted when people click away, after 5 minutes, because like that just means, okay, the
They
video's
gave it a
not for
chance.
them.
They tried.
That's
Yeah.
true.
You
Yeah.
have an audience you have to go towards. If you're trying to go towards too many audiences,
That's
you're
also
going to end up doing poor
It's
videos.
there is a truism for this. If you try to please everyone, you won't please anyone.
exactly.
And I think that actually is accurate most of the time.
For me, it's one of those things where it's like, how much of it is also the fault of fucking the person that's like saying that comment? Because like, you saw the title, you saw the thumbnail. Like, what the fuck were you expecting from Chris Chan documentary? Like, one Google search of Chris Chan could tell you this dude is farting on a cake. And yes, I will ingrain that image into your head, Amara. I fucking promise you. But,
Swear to fucking God.
but like at the end of the day, like, yeah, the video isn't for you, but like the title, it's not like it was a fucking, Reddit 50-50 where you had to like guess, is this what I want or not? Like, to an extent you should know, roughly speaking.
And if you watch the first 3 minutes and it hasn't gripped you, then obviously it's not your video.
Yeah.
The thing that happens to me, for example, is I see your videos for Down the Rabbit Hole. I see, okay, talking about Spoony, Christian, I know this. And then you go into things like, thank you, or things that I have no idea what these are. And I want to check it out, what that is, just to learn something new.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Sometimes,
And
like, if you're not into it, you're not into it. So you just leave.
Here's
Done.
the thing. Even with a content creator that you absolutely love to the earth and back, you're not going to like all their content.
Correct.
No.
Yeah, that's definitely true of some of the people that I watch. It's like I don't enjoy every single one of their videos, but I'll still keep coming back for more.
You come back to what brought you, essentially, is what it is, right? Like, sometimes something
Not
else
always.
they do might grip you. Yeah.
Not always. Like, content creators can change. And I definitely, my philosophy for musical artists is I want to see them change and experiment with every album, because it, like, for example, I'm listening to Camelot. It's like, I already have, like, the Black Halo is one of them, is a masterpiece of an album. But that doesn't mean I want them to make the Black Halo over and over and over and over again.
You're going to get sick and tired of the music.
It's like, I already have the Black Halo. If I wanted to listen to the Black Halo, I would put it on.
Right.
But and it's the same thing with content creators a lot of the time. I want to see them push the boundaries, explore, experiment, try new things, while still retaining an image of what they once were, because that's what's going to keep me engaged and interested. And I think that's one of the reasons that a lot of YouTube content creators get stuck, is because they get comfortable in their formula and then people get bored. It's not even about increasing the production quality. It's about trying something that feels new.
Well, that's sort of the thing that I'm doing now too. Like, I've been doing the deep web for a bit. I switch here and there to something new, and my philosophy is like I'm that like idiot that like makes the videos on the internet. That's my whole thing. Like, that's pretty much how I started with anyways. I mean, this isn't like my job or anything, so I have the freedom to sort of fuck around with. So for me, I'm like transitioning from like just straight, exploring the Tor relays to like actually fucking around with malware and like, creating impressive as KVM machines to like destroy. Like, it's one of the things that I know how to do, and it's one of the things that it's like, okay, if I know how to do it, I can do it well. I'll probably switch to this, and then who knows, 3-4 years down the line, I probably won't be looking at malware again. I'll probably be looking at absolutely fucktardedly different things depending on how things go or things change. Because, again, doing the same thing over and over again is just, it's sort of like the creepypasta narration audience, for instance, right? That was the first big thing that I did, and then there was like copyright claiming by like a lot of like authors and shit, and I was like, yeah, let's just blanket wipe it, because I don't want to like lose my channel because some guy didn't take my criticism very fucking well. So I decided to like blanket wipe that. But that's what I did for a long time. And the thing is that there was like the whole creepypasta community, which was like fucking Game of Thrones or some bullshit, and they were like constantly fighting amongst each other. Yeah,
the horror YouTube community.
The horror YouTube.
Like, I'm very close with some people in that community, and man, there is some horse shit drama in there.
Let me tell you about the drama, man. Like, when I started making creepypasta videos, I did gaming ones, and I took off enough that I would say top 3 of the horror networks, I guess you could say. And it was weird because for the top 2, they were in a network together anyways. It was, the horror community was one and one only. And at the time when I was making videos, I'm like, I don't give a fuck about no horror community. I just want to make videos, because I was stuck in a slump at the time. It was like a how would you say, like a release sort of thing. So I didn't give a fuck about joining any horror communities. I took off. I think I became 3 or 2 or whatever fucking number it was. And to this day, I switched my format up, and the horror channels are still stuck in that drama-filled, community that they're in. And to an extent, a lot of them have stagnated in what they've done because they've never decided to change. It's just been narration after narration after narration. It's like, well, how long are you going to keep fucking doing that for? Like 8+ years? Like, at some point, you got to stop doing the stories and maybe start switching things up. And it's not as simple as, oh, well, I'll stop reading off this website and just start reading this off. Like, it's not the change that we're asking for. It's like, actually evolve it. Like, for me, I'm working on one where, you guys know the Ben Majora's Mask, right? I've been looking at that more and more, and I've been wanting to do like a really comprehensive look at not just that story, but like the whole arc around it and everything involved with it. And also looking at like how they manage to use the game and fuck around with it, making the videos themselves, right? Because I want to look at the technical side of it as well too. That's sort of my gimmick and everything.
Yeah, someone modded that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's sort of the thing that I want to look at. I just don't want to like read the story and be like, oh, this is what happened, this has happened, and blah blah. I was so scared reading this. No, that's not the whole goal of it. But that's not the evolution I'm seeing the horror community do. That whole drama side of the community showed up to me personally because I found out way later when I stopped doing videos that like 95% of them fucking hated me. All right. That was the saddest part. Like here's the thing. I'm a fucking nice guy when it comes to this. I don't care. Like if you're cool with me, I'm fine. I love interacting with people, right? Like I love this situation where I'm talking to you and I'm talking to my friends. That's fucking fun to me. You know, I think that's the beauty of YouTube, right? People coming together, people sharing, people talking, and then like you have this community where it's like, fuck that guy. How dare he step into our fucking community? Ice that boy.
To an extent, the horror community, from what I've seen, because I have Muda here, but I follow a few others. One of the big things that I've seen is that the horror community, in a weird way, kind of reflects some of the worst parts of YouTube. Like, originally,
there's some lol cowish behavior, dude, in that community. I think we can all agree.
It applies.
YouTube was supposed to be an area where everyone could come together. They could watch things. They could communicate. But then, for some reason, it became like this huge competition of who's the biggest and the best.
And if we parlay this back to the main topic, I think exactly what we discussed about the horror community can apply easily to some of the people that bring it on themselves, like Spoony and DSP and shit, just because this is the exact same fucking actions that just ruin it for everyone, you know what I mean? It just ruins the entire point of being on the fucking website, right? Is to just start getting into this petty high school bullshit drama, to start isolating yourselves. A lot of it comes down to ego as well, which for me is the biggest thing when it comes to any lolcow, is that ego problem. And again, like I said earlier, it's when you some people just don't fucking deserve to have any, they can't handle it, so they develop the ego, and that's immediately what leads to the downward spiral, right? At the end of the day, we're here making videos for people. It's a fun thing to do, right? We're not here to fucking, you know, be Hollywood stars. Nobody in this room is going to end up in like Avengers fucking 5, all right? That's not going to happen. Nobody here
I've actually the person who's been making music for me, he has looked at my stuff. He really likes my stuff, and he says he used to work for the BBC. Like, I have another friend who used to work for Vice that I've made in, like, I made a bunch of friends who have been in the mainstream journalism community, and they're like, you could pitch this stuff. My buddy who used to work for the BBC, and he's like, you could pitch it. I'm like, why? Like, I don't want to have to deal with someone hanging over my head and trying to make it, you know, edgier and more appealing to this massive crowd.
Yeah.
You just end up
anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent. But to the point that you're making with the ego, I actually can loop this back around. I was making a long-winded point, basically what you were saying with the 3 kinds of criticism. So you have, you know, what is the fuck, you are a ghoul. You have this really ain't for me, you should change it. And really, you shouldn't change it because not everything is for everyone. The third kind is the actual useful stuff, right? This is the stuff where they look at your craft and they say, you know, this didn't feel good because, with my most recent episode, I got a lot of criticism about bringing Larry, Guru Larry, into the video. There were a lot of people who liked it. There were a lot of people who felt like his voice didn't jive with the tone of my show. And I looked back on it, and while I thought it was a really nice change of pace, I thought Larry did a great job. I actually encouraged him to do his normal voice for it. You know, don't change to my style. Do what you're good at. I looked back on it, and I was like, you know, they're right. Doesn't work.
He's a little too jolly of a character, I find.
Yeah, it's and even when I'm discussing amusing things like game life, that tone is still pervasive. I had to accept that. Like, that is the kind of criticism they have to say, like, yeah, okay, I get it. I think what happens, and this is where I tie it all together, because all my points are long-winded. With these content creators that we've been discussing, they look at all of these 3 kinds of criticism and cannot differentiate them. The person saying, you know, what is the fuck, you are a ghoul, and the person giving legitimate criticism or concern or like is being constructive, they're on the same level. They are insulting the person. This is also a problem with creators. I've been around artists all my life, and one thing that all of us have had to accept is our art doesn't have to literally be ourselves. It doesn't have to be tied up in our ego. It can be a reflection of ourselves, but it also is a separate entity from ourselves. And someone can criticize your art while not criticizing you as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And for
Exactly.
creators, without being able to differentiate the different kinds of criticism while also conflating all criticism with being a personal attack, you end up in situations like Spoony, who are very confused because they cannot parse all of this.
They believe everyone criticizing whatever
They
it is
believe
a
the
troll.
world is against them personally
Yeah.
versus the content itself. Like for me, Spoon, that's sort of a thing I agree with, because it comes down to the creator too. You have to learn to separate yourself from what you do. Like when you're on YouTube, you have to learn that once you make the video and you upload it, you are also a different person as well too, off the camera. And I think when you don't have that distinction inside you and you start reading a comment and you're like, wow, this dude's it's happened to me even recently as well too. I would say like it's one of those things that comes back when you read like that, like really like eye-opening criticism and you're like, motherfucker, this hurts me deep inside. But then immediately, adult tendencies kick in and you're like, okay, this is what I'll change next time. But
Yeah, it's part of being a functioning adult is being able to take a breath, take a step back, and think.
Right.
Yes.
And that's what a lot of these people who have not reached that level of enlightenment, they're not that woke, I guess
Yeah.
you could say.
Well, you think about YouTube, especially of yesteryear, where it's the Wild West. Nobody knew what they were doing. Someone like Game Life could get attention and get a deal on MTV. It sounds absurd, but these are essentially kids. Spoony was sort of a case of a failure to launch. He didn't really have any plans. He was living in his mother's basement. I think that was earnest. Like he was living with his parents. And he clearly did not have the emotional tools to deal with this kind of thing. However, he had fame thrust upon him anyway. I think that this is true for a lot of child stars as well. Like there are plenty of celebrity examples to this effect. They do not have they are made stars before they have the emotional tools necessary to deal with this kind of criticism. On the internet, they often become comfortable with sharing themselves perpetually and constantly. And that in that way we get to watch this happen in real time.
Exactly.
Right.
One example that I can think is ever since I was a kid, I love to draw. I'm still drawing, and I'm trying to pursue that as a career.
Sure.
Now I'm going to classes with a professional artist. He work in the industry, work with Marvel and whoever. The first thing that he told me is to detach yourself, like Amuda says, detach yourself from your work, because most of the artists or people who join, who show their work to people who are probably are not professionals on the field, they will always praise your work. They will praise the shit out of you. But then you see someone who wants to give you actual criticism, someone who knows, and people are just confident. People are accustomed to be told that they're, oh, it's great, it's great, it's great. And as soon as you see someone say, maybe you should change this, you should change that, they take that awful. They take like a super critic, like a punch to the gut.
It's
That's
like
the problem with these
it's
things.
like
And
being
that
Ramsey, right? Like
prevents you from growing, because I remember back in the day I had like a super anime style, and then I noticed that I went to classes with different people who told me things that I could change, things that I could probably practice and whatever. And with that, that's where you grow. Now I have several styles to work with.
yeah,
But that's
well,
where you
you
work. You
learn
gotta
more
accept.
things over time because
Yeah,
you
gotta
work on
accept it.
yourselves.
Yeah, I think that as a creator, the most powerful thing that I learned for my emotional state, because I'm extremely critical of myself. I very rarely will make broad sweeping statements about myself because I don't like making them about anyone. But I will say that I am extremely self-critical. And one of the best things that I did for myself was being able to tell myself, this isn't perfect, but it's still enjoyable. And that's
Exactly.
okay.
Yes.
Like you can like my favorite kind of media is the stuff that tends to be imperfect but still great at what it's trying to achieve. And sometimes that imperfection is in the pursuit of achieving that weirdness or that uniqueness. And that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Right.
You
fair
always
enough.
want to be growing, of course. You never want to stagnate. You want to recognize what you can do better, but you can still take a bit of pride in something you've created that's imperfect.
Yeah. Because
So it's a
something that
stepping
is
stone.
imperfect, something that's
Yeah.
imperfect and it's there, at least it's there, and it's better than nothing.
Yeah, and people are enjoying it.
Yeah.
Like that's something that's really easy to lose track of when you I'm saying you. I should be saying I, because it's true for myself as well.
I
It's
guess we
something
could
I
say
had,
it's all of
it's
us.
something it's something
Yeah.
we as creators have to accept. It's a lot of things to hold in your palm at once, but it's possible. And once you can look at it all at once and see everything and grow much faster and much more effectively.
Jesus fuck,
Amen.
I'm learning. A fucking men,
We're-
dude.
we are
A
so
fucking
woke
men to
now,
that.
holy
We
shit.
are actually waking up, boys. We are reaching the new nirvana.
All right, now give me all your money so I can buy 96 Rolls Royces.
Yeah, dude. Hell, dude. Where's my wacky Dr. Seuss address, man? I gotta get it to you.
Can I just say how glad I am to have been able to dodge drama so far?
Oh my
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's the that's a talent in of itself, of maturity, because there are so many fucking YouTubers, and I've had some in the deep web circle for sure that love to create this drama in between themselves for the extra, I guess,
God.
view wise or whatever, and it's so great to just dodge away from it. That's another community.
not worth
by the
it.
way. That's another community, by the way, guys. It's worse. You might have heard me shit on the horror community. The deep web community is fucking way worse. Okay, you ever seen?
Are those the hackers that kill you?
Oh
and
my God.
Make
Okay.
funds?
All right.
with-
Look, I'm not gonna give names out, because the name doesn't even matter anymore. The name is gone. You can't even find it on YouTube because YouTube terminated the channel. But there was one specific name that was big in the deep web circle, I guess you could say. A lot of you guys might be knowing who I'm talking about. You know, YouTube definitely took down an individual, but this person, like, apparently it led up to a point where I saw this person making like a Wikipedia article about being some CIA fucking hacker or some bullshit, and I was like, dude, this is a community I want to stay far away from. They were fighting each other all the time. There's people that hated me because I was making the more successful videos. I'm like, yeah, but at the same time, my mic didn't sound like this the whole. That's why people were probably watching at the same time too. I don't know, but Deep Web Circle was also as fucking stupid. I
was talking about the hacker. I was talking about the hackers.
The deep web, the deep web
exactly,
movie you
the
watched.
ones
Yeah.
the ones that glitch themselves from cameras.
Have you ever watched that movie, Unfriended Deep Web? By the way, Fred.
No, it
Oh my
looks
God.
horrendous.
Fucking
and-
god. Okay, let me guide you
Boy.
through the story.
Did you
So-
ever watch the first one?
All right,
the
give
first
it to
Unfriended?
me.
Okay, so the story for Deep Web Unfriended is great. Me and Kyle watched the original Unfriended, which was surprisingly charming for what it was. Don't get me wrong, it was a stupid fucking movie, but it was still charming. I'll give it that. This new one is about like the deep web, right? So that flash in the pan, like, oh, let's sensationalize this shit. We watched this movie last night, and it was a movie that takes place entirely as like a desktop recording, I guess you could say. So they definitely saved the budget. Don't need to buy those red dragons or whatever. Just
Yeah, no, I saw the who was it? I think it was Your Movie Sucks video on the original.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I've watched them.
But like, so they made this fucking terrible movie, and it's one of those movies where, like, you know, when you're sitting there like, this is what makes people not access things. This is like pure sensationalist garbage. This is what it was, because the hacker was doing shit that makes Watch Dogs 2 look like fucking like actual it makes it look like a real hacking thing, like a real exactly, like that whole hold X to hack, it makes it all look real. Because this one, the hacker was like hacking into like Facebook Messenger services, like sending in these messages in black, making Windows shake. The stupidest
Hacking medical equipment.
yeah, they hacked medical equipment that wasn't connected to the internet to like kill this old mother, and I was like, oh, fuck out of here, dude. Miss me with all of it. The hackers were like covering themselves with this EMP like suppository pill up their ass where they couldn't be caught on camera. Turn it off on what? It was the stupidest shit I've ever seen. It was so mind-numbingly terrible. It's up there with the Smosh movie for me. Because these are the only two movies.
That's a pan.
No, they're the
Yeah.
only. No, listen, because they're the only two movies that have made me physically feel like I died like Because like you're sitting there for like 50 minutes, right? And I remember the Smosh movie. I was dating an ex at the time, and we were sitting there watching the Smosh movie. 50 minutes into the movie, I forgot everything about time and space. Like nothing was visible to me. I wasn't focusing on the movie. Like I wasn't focusing on the movie past the fucking 10th minute mark. So for the 40 minutes I was there, I was sitting without processing the movie, without processing the world around me. Truly being dead inside was that movie. And this one, because motherfucker, there was no way that I was focusing onto this. Like, I think by like the 50-minute mark that we were into Unfriended, I wasn't fucking paying attention at all. The only thing I knew was this dude's girlfriend was deaf, and that was a big plot point in the movie because she couldn't hear shit. That's all I remember. And if that's the only thing you remember from a movie, well, you fucked up. I'm sorry to say. If I'm remembering, go ahead.
We don't need the Buddha. We have the Smosh movie and Unfriended.
Unfucking
You know,
friend.
Because what you are describing is a deep meditative state.
It makes you experiment real life shooting stars.
God.
Bam, bam, bam,
There you go.
That's
where you
video
go.
muted.
That's where you go.
Copyright.
God,
Copyright strike.
Copyright.
Yeah. Especially with YouTube system, that's what I'm gonna get, no matter what. I mean, I'm probably going to end up getting that at some point, because YouTube system is also being really fucking stupid lately. I don't know how many people have gotten like the weird content IDs on the stupidest shit possible.
I've been okay.
You've been okay
but-
so far? Yeah.
Yeah.
I've started to notice a bit here and there. That's why, like, when I'm making videos on like JStation and shit, I'm always weird. Like, I'm always wondering, like, when is the DMCA system going to get abused to the point where this video is going to get taken down or some bullshit? I don't know if you ever worry about that doing the videos that you do. That like you haven't.
I think I'm okay because I haven't really built up much of a hate base. I feel like my ego isn't terribly present in my videos, and so it's hard for people to build up the will to hate me.
Just wait until you get more bigger, and then the people are like, "Wow, man, fuck this guy's ripping on me. Fuck him, DMC. Can we copy strike Fred? Can we do that?" It's gonna happen at some point, man. I guarantee it. And that's
Probably. I mean, it's sort of happened indirectly already. But that was a specific circumstance. Yeah.
shit.
So, in the Rajneeshpuram. So I don't know. Did you?
I watched the
I watched the
Rajneeshpuram.
Rajneeshpuram,
Yeah, the
yeah.
Oregon
It was
thing.
fucking- It was fucking weird. I had no idea that case.
Yeah, it's a very, very interesting case. I think I'm like my video is the only one that goes that I've seen that I know of that goes into Rajneesh's past in India. Everyone else seems to gloss over it for some reason. But when I released that video, I cut together that video, I uploaded it to YouTube, and it got taken down because while I was making the video, so Rajneesh's company that he set up to keep everything going, that company is still going and making money off of his books under the name Osho International, because after Rajneeshpuram failed, he tried to sort of distance himself from it, and he renamed himself to Osho, which is a Japanese term for like an honorable person, you know, not a big ego or anything.
Sure, buddy.
So
Mahatma.
so this group started going on YouTube and claiming that news footage from the period of Rajneeshpuram was owned by them. So I had taken some of that news footage and put it in my video, and they found it, like the automatic system claimed it. So I had to take down the video, recut it without those clips, and re-upload it.
Right.
Damn.
That's
brag.
still like, but at the end of the day, that's still a fair use argument too. Like you could apply to it as well. Like it's one of those things where it's like you weren't necessarily like you were still using it in a fair usage context. I don't know why they had to go into the fucking auto tag. Was it a way that you could like dispute it at least? Yeah, what am I saying? You can't dispute.
So here's the thing. It was automatic, and they probably weren't even alerted to it. The last thing I want to do is attract the attention of Osho International if I can help it.
Yeah, you don't want to be like sniped or something. Yeah.
I don't think they resorted to those tactics. They're not quite that extreme. But like they also, especially with the release of Wild Wild Country, they probably don't care much about me. but I'd still rather not draw attention to myself. You got to be strategic with this kind of thing.
Exactly. You don't want to be like
it's like pick your fights.
It's like why I don't rip on Scientology too hard or whatever. Like in a video,
Yeah,
I'll
people
come
keep
across
asking
it.
me to do a video on that.
Well,
I'm like, no.
I came across
I
I
would
wouldn't
either
touch
like
that
I
with
would be
a
ruined.
ball.
I came across like a bunch of Scientologist stuff on the deep web too, like their leaked documents or whatever on like their Lord Xenu and shit. And like the reason I never opened them, I'm like, dude, do you realize how much fucking power these motherfuckers have? I don't want to get killed over this.
Yeah,
Hell
no,
no. No.
Yeah, they're present in certain parts of the U.S. government at least.
Jesus fucking Christ. That I didn't know. I thought they were just,
Yeah, there was they performed an operation where they went in and basically, oh god, I don't want to cite any of the details wrong, but they
Let's just give a
penetrated, I believe
vague
it was
view,
the
yeah.
FBI.
Yeah, I feel like we should stop talking about this.
Yeah, let's yeah.
Yeah, we'll
Wait,
save
are
that
you-
for the behind the scenes. Nothing happened. Blue's Clues,
Yeah,
dude.
when I'm
Especially-
making 100,000 a month on Patreon and I have the capital to take him down.
You just at that point just go full InfoWars on their asses. That's
Wait,
it.
Oh
we
my
do realize
God.
That they have celebrities, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
The guy who makes Mission Impossible, that dude, yeah,
Dude,
Tommy
that
Cruise.
dude would kick your ass.
Yeah, he probably would, considering that like he did do his own stunts, and I have mad respect for a guy that's willing to jump out of a plane. Then again, he's getting paid a lot of money, and if you gave me the same paycheck, I would probably think, maybe it's worth it.
Yeah,
I mean-
well, guess what, Buddha?
What?
I'm just gonna go and tell a certain dude that he killed his dog.
Oh, John Wick, dude, I can't wait for that third movie to come out. Fuck, that movie's gonna.
John Wick was so good.
It
Oh,
dude,
it's
so good.
I came
Oh,
across
beautiful.
that movie like just out of nowhere because I remember like seeing it in college. I'm like, okay, why is Keanu Reeves is back? I guess because we watched 47 Ronin and I was like, this is fucking terrible, dude. God damn.
No,
Keanu,
I
what
remember.
happened
I
to
remember
you?
you telling me to watch it for like months, and then when I finally see it, it became like a tradition. I have to show that movie to everyone. I showed it to my sisters, to my father, to my girlfriend, to everyone, friends. Everything.
Watch it with your dog.
They need to know.
I'm not a big action movie person typically, but John Wick, like the two modern ones that I really enjoyed were John Wick and Fury Road. But everyone loved Fury
Oh, yeah.
Road. Like that's
Fury
not even
Road was a
saying
good
anything.
one.
The thing with me and Muda, we are fans of trash. We love shitty
Oh no, I
movies.
love garbage too. Are you kidding me? I
Oh,
actually
beautiful.
I'm gonna be doing a crossover. I don't want to reveal it this month. Looking at shitty Flash games, and I'm really excited.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
my
yes.
God.
That's like
Boy.
Buddha's pastime.
I
I
gotta-
also there's a really good buddy of mine. I don't know if you know him, Jabroni Mike.
I'm
Oh,
not
sounds familiar.
familiar, but
Yeah, he's a
sounds-
Twitch streamer. He's
Right.
also the drummer for Red Fox, which is Vine Sauce's band. Vinny's
Oh,
band.
Yep, that's why I know. That's where I
yeah.
know him from.
Yeah, the dude's a big sweetie. But I went on to his stream once. He does a series called bootlegs. He just looks at terrible bootlegs. He gets people to bring them to him, and so I gave him bootleg books, and that was a lot of fun.
Oh, no.
I love terrible bootlegs. I think the highlight of that stream was Harry Potter and Leopard Walk Up to Dragon, which
What
was
Oh
fucking
my God.
dollar
the
store
first chapter.
Chinese?
The first chapter was very short. Yeah, it was Chinese. You can look this up online. And hold on, if you'd like, I could find the cover for you guys real
God
quick. I have
damn
it.
Well,
Oh,
I
yeah, we
got-
gotta
I-
see this.
I got a surprise for you. I live in Argentina, and oh boy, the amount of bootlegs I find here in Chinese stores.
The Emoji
Oh,
Avengers.
yes.
Yeah, I know.
The
what you
Emoji
mean.
Avengers, the Bolivian Moana,
Hey, man.
the
Here we go.
robot
I have
Griff
it.
Luigi.
I
Oh,
have
wait, what
it.
is
Here
it?
you
Let me see
go.
this.
This is Harry Potter and Leopard Walk Up to Dragon.
Oh, I had to look into the bottom right. I'm like, that's Harry. Okay.
Isn't that Maleficent
That is
dragon?
Maleficent.
Yeah.
I would like to point out. I would like to point out that this cover was created with a pair of scissors and glue. You can see where they cut out the tail of Maleficent poorly on the left page.
Oh my God! Yeah, you see it. Oh,
You
shit.
totally
still have the white.
Fucking God.
Um,
I love how it has a fucking ISBN number. Yeah, that. Come on, dude. Get the fuck out of here. I
That's
can't.
beautiful.
It's
That
written
shit's
by.
so legit.
Is that
I
JK?
think this was my favorite though.
Oh, what
oh,
What is this?
Hey,
Why is the ant there?
The Bug's Life, dude. It's a Bug's Life. Oh man.
Why is he orange? Why is he red? What was?
Why is it like
So-
Dragon Tails on the fucking left, man? What happened? It's just a fucking...
So, the best, my favorite part of this whole thing is that, so Harry Potter and Leopard walk up to Dragon. The first chapter is like Harry Potter going outside with his friends and there's like oil rain or something. And then the second
no.
chapter onward is the entire book, The Hobbit. They just copy
What?
pasted The Hobbit.
Fucking god.
That's
Names
beautiful.
weren't changed or
What?
anything. And I like one of the chapters' names was changed to something really stupid. I forget. It's been a little bit. And then there's one last chapter saying, "Oh, we're back home and we're in Hogwarts. Yay!"
I wonder how much of these still sell. Like, dude, you gotta at least find the real books PDF somewhere. You don't need to rely on this.
It would have been
guy's
better
book.
if the rest of the book would have just been My Immortal.
It would have been great if it was the plot to A Bug's Life, but all the characters were fucking Harry Potter villains, and they just had this
Oh,
Stegosaurus as a fucking love interest or some bullshit.
you know,
Yeah.
speaking of My Immortal, Internet
boy.
Historian definitely shoved my face in there in one of his readings.
Oh my god!
Wait, really?
That was...
He did it for the part where Voldemort made a "you're so retarded" face, and he put
Yeah.
my face on Voldemort for that.
I remember that
Oh
part.
my god! Fucking, My
You know,
Immortal
I
was
try to
great,
repress
dude.
all that.
That was-
I try to repress.
Why
that
would
part
you
of me.
repress
That was-
reading such an amazing piece of
Yeah,
fucking
dude,
literature?
that was our first big project. Come on.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
we sat
but
there.
you guys, okay.
We had
remember-
fucking internet Skype sex over My Immortal, okay? Literally, we actually had a sex scene, okay? I don't want to fucking hear. I got
Okay,
to
no,
feel
no,
what
no,
it was
no.
like to be a hentai artist for a fucking minute. Can you imagine? That made me feel what it's like to be one of the hentai voice actors, like in the
You
fucking
guys-
sex scene. Like, it's just
You guys
retarded.
not remember how fucking dead my brain was. I think it was.
You
like
think
part
your brain
6
was
or
dead,
something.
motherfucker? Are you forgetting? We all fucking died. We all
Like,
died reading that
I
shit.
had a specific
Oh my
line
God.
during it where I was just like, I can't even anymore. I can't do it.
Shut
I
it
didn't know
down.
Batman was in Avengers 2. What the fuck? What are you sharing? Oh my god.
Oh yeah, that's
some
his
of the bootlegs around my
Argentinian
town.
bootlegs.
God,
I,
dude.
We try in
Point-
Chinese
point
stores, by the
being-
way.
point being, I love terrible media. I love bootlegs.
Yes.
That's
yes.
just what we live for. But, you know, that's another thing. When you get too close to terrible media, sometimes it's not exactly what people are looking for. Because terrible media is one of those things where it's like, it's either like in that perfect fringe or it's the fucking Smosh movie where I'm dead for 40 minutes of my life. That's 40
Yeah.
fucking minutes I'll never get back, by the way, and I'm still pissed about it. I could have done a lot in those 40 fucking minutes, but that's me being dead inside. So thank you, Smosh, for killing my brain cells, and thank you, Unfriended Deep Web, for also doing the same thing to a lesser extent. I think, like, for me, a terrible movie is one that's, like, unintentionally terrible. No,
Yes.
sorry. The one where the person making it is just like, man, I am making a magnum fucking opus.
Oh,
Let
yeah.
me
Like
sniff
the
my
cell-
ass after this. This is great.
Like the
Yeah,
fucking
if
they
it's-
think so.
Bad
So-
movies have to be earnest because part of the joy is the earnestness of it.
That's how we get gems like Miami Connection. Or the
Yeah,
Room.
when they're so, like, into it, they're like,
Yeah.
man, we're making a fucking movie of the ages. Like, come on. Dude.
Or Dead Heat. Muda, remember Dead Heat?
Yeah, the zombie,
Oh, well.
the two cops
Dead
that
Heat
come back
is-
as... Oh,
Dead Heat
go
is a
ahead.
body cop movie where one guy dies because of a zombie conspiracy thing. The guy comes back as a zombie with his friend and try to solve the case.
That makes me so
That's a
happy.
zombie.
And
It's
he has
beautiful.
to solve it before the zombie virus eats up so much of his internal organs that he can't function as a zombie.
Exactly.
Fucking
It's beautiful.
yeah, when they went the science route, that's how you know they fucking tried. They're like, man, let's bring a doctor in. No, nothing works. Okay, it doesn't work that way. Stop it.
It also has Vincent Price in it.
I think that this is a demonstration of one of the hallmarks of terrible media is they don't know where to stop. They don't
no.
know when to say it is okay if you do not understand or know about something. Just don't write about it. Like
Right.
you don't have to try to justify it somehow. with like science, just avoid it. If you really, and if it doesn't work, if the script doesn't work without you explaining it, but you don't understand it, then don't do it. Like, don't use it. It's okay.
Do you know Miami Connection? Do you know what
I
what
feel
it's
like
about?
I've heard of it. I feel like I've seen some of it. Hold on.
It's the Taekwondo band that fights cocaine dealing ninjas in the 80s.
Yeah, yeah.
I've seen it referenced. Wait. Yes. I'm aware of this.
Oh my
Watch
god!
it, please.
Poor
No.
soul.
Everyone in the comment, everyone who listens to me, watch that movie. It is gold. It's gold.
Obviously, my favorite pet piece of terrible media is Empress Teresa. But
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
my
God.
god. I
I've
saw
heard
that
that.
video and I was just like, that's one of the videos where like normally I can like put it in the background and listen and enjoy, but then this is one where like, okay, let's pause the game and turn to the right for a second. What are we watching here?
And after watch, just take a deep breath and go, boy.
It's happened, man. There's so many like lolcow videos. Like at this point, I was figuring I was desensitized, but I still do reach those points. Thank fucking God, where I have to stop my whatever I'm doing. Like I'll play Assassin's Creed Origins or something, minding out like some bullshit side quest, and then I'll be like, all right, Bayek, relax. Let's not kill people. Let's just look to the right. Let's learn real quick, and then I'll go back to the game. Like it gets so bad where I'm like, I have to mute the game off, and then I have to heighten the audio for the video, and then I'm like, all right, let's pay more attention. It's fucking terrible.
I am flattered.
well, I mean, you cover topics that are so fucking like, okay, nobody talks about Empress Teresa except for like you, and then like that's the thing when you're looking at the series or like looking at any videos and you just see like, okay, you talked about Christian and DSP. How the fuck could this possibly be in that same realm? And then like in the first 3 or 4 minutes, you're like, oh. Okay,
Oh,
like
no.
the Final Fantasy House video. I didn't even fucking know that was a thing. So like, I'm like, okay, Final Fantasy House. Like, what are you talking about? Some fucking frat party or some bullshit? Like, what are they role playing as fucking squall? To me, when I was sitting there, I was like, to me, I was sitting there. I'm like, oh, what is it? Like a bunch of Tifa cosplayers like fucking sitting together. And then I clicked on. I'm like, oh no, I don't even know what this has to do with Final Fantasy anymore. This is just a shitty relationship. Fuck, man.
No, that video goes off I think that video goes to fucking hell faster than any of my other videos.
Dude, that went to hell so much. I had to stop your video halfway, and then I like opened the website and I was like, no, let me read this. So that was like, I think 2 hours of my life where I was just in my basement, like, because that's where I have like my chiller set up to like just relaxing. So I'm sitting there in like the light, like in the dark, like it's fucking Max Payne or whatever, like some really depressive moment. And then like I pour some whiskey as I'm reading this, and it's just one of those things where it's like, it can't get any worse. Next page. Oh fuck, it did. My lord.
Yeah.
It's like you're looking at the guys involved and you're like, turn away, walk away, and they won't do it. And it's like, oh God, why? Why would you do this to me? I don't know. Here, go ahead.
So I'm actually, I got hired to write a very unique piece of fiction that's coming out very soon. Called, I've teased it on Twitter, but it's called Red Hive Skyline. That concept is like the idea of I can't look away, like I've been sucked into this. I explore that concept in one of the episodes. It's not the first one, but there is that feeling of like this is deeply unsettling, and yet I can't stop experiencing it.
Yeah. Again, it's like it's the best fucking train wreck you'll ever see in your life, and it's just can I look
away?
Am I able to peek away from this shit? Probably fucking not. You have no idea how hard is it, man. Like, I remember like years ago, Mario was like, Muda, why do you look into DSP so much? Or like Chris Chan. And I'm like, dude, I wish I fucking couldn't. But when everything escalates day after day, and like I look at the next big thing, how can I not fucking, not look? Like, it's impossible. You know what I mean? Like,
it's cool.
Yeah. It's like shitty Naruto.
Yeah. Dude,
Oh.
dude, it's like titling your video "Train crashes into fucking school." Of course you're gonna click on it. It's a depressing thing, yes, but I challenge anybody who's like, I wouldn't click on it. It's immorally wrong, motherfucker. No, you wouldn't. You'd be the first person to click on it, and you would click on that shit without putting on incognito mode. I at least put it on because I don't want to see that shit in my fucking
But it goes
related.
to basic instinct.
No, but like, okay,
What happens when you see a crash on the street? People fucking hover around it.
yeah. So like you see the
basic.
video. Like you see that video, I don't subscribe to the channel uploading it. I have it bookmarked. That's one thing. I bookmarked. I didn't fucking put my name attached to it. But then like, how can you not look away when you wake up the next day, you have your coffee, the video uploaded, and his fucking Boeing crashes into a fucking school. Now he just uploaded it into a fucking giant plane. What's next? It just keeps going. International Space Station destroys continent. Like, of course you're gonna fucking see that. You're not gonna look away from it. You're not gonna fucking be like.
Depending on the continent, you would be first-hand witness.
Yeah, right. Exactly, right. You look at it like exactly. In that case, I'd be like, "Oh fuck, it's not North America. Thank fucking God." All right, and then you click on it. You wouldn't put it onto the watch later category. Fuck no, you'd watch it right there and then. That's exactly what it's like with watching DSP Spoony or anyone. You're like, the same thing with Wings of Redemption. Before he got like really depressing, I was like, all right, what happened today? A siege rage? Okay, that's great. Oh, Call of Duty rage? Okay, we're escalating. Oh, we straight bans like 600 people in a video? Oh fuck, gotta open that up and see this train wreck. I mean, come on.
I feel like the internet in general has moved a bit beyond the gawking phase. I think that there are definitely people who still do that, but I've seen a lot more of, dear God, I hope this person gets their life together. It's especially true with someone like Spoony, who already has a viewer base. People are watching, they're in it for, the terrible things that are happening, and there is this sort of weird schadenfreude that goes into it. But I think that there's also this sentiment of, dear God, I really hope he gets his life turned around. I know that was the case for Chris Chan. When I made the video, I was like, okay, she's calmed down. She's not doing anything crazy anymore. She got arrested.
She's farting on cakes now. What the fuck am I gonna do?
Yeah, and then it's like, well, and now she's having a breakdown at a convention I'm giving a talk at. Great.
What the fuck happened to that? Does anyone know the story? Like, I've seen that on streams.
I don't know.
Yes. So, Christine went to too many games this year, and started getting a little bit overly friendly with people. People would get pictures with her, and then she'd kiss them on the cheek. Her excuse was, "I'm a celebrity. They want this kind of thing." And then other people were like, "I know what I'm getting into with this here." The bigger problem was that she was selling merchandise on the floor.
Oh.
That's not allowed.
Yeah, just standing there and being like, how about y'all come buy some prints of Sonichu, some autographed photographs. And
I'd buy, dude. I'd straight buy.
She didn't have a license to do that, and that was the bigger problem. And when she started claiming discrimination, she freaked out and curled up into the fetal position on the floor and had to be dragged away by police, which all happened while I was setting up for my panel, and I didn't have to see it.
Oh my God! You bastard! I wish I could be I wish I could have been you at that moment. Fuck! I would have left my panel and fucking front row seat of that, dude. God.
So here's the thing. Like, the moment I got there, people started asking, "Hey, did you know that Chris Chan's here? Are you gonna look for them?" And as soon as I heard that, I was like,
"Oh no,
no! I don't want part of this. I don't want part in this. I'm distant. I keep my distance from this shit."
Yeah.
Although, like,
you're sitting here like,
fair,
this is the closest I have ever been.
No, I am going to a furry convention later this month, though.
No,
because
come
that
on.
I want to see. That I want to see
my
firsthand.
God.
They seem really weird and interesting.
That's something that me and Kyle actually been investigating. You know how expensive a fursuit is?
Yeah, it's like, actually, I mean, fursuits are often less expensive than my most expensive hobby, so.
I mean, to be fair, it's
Look, man, we're not going to campaign cocaine and hookers to fucking. All right.
Dude, cocaine will be a cheaper pastime than mine.
Are you collecting SNES games, dude? What the fuck?
I just want the GTA update when you sell fursuits instead of cocaine.
My expensive hobby is the hurdy-gurdy.
Whoa. Really?
I've never heard of
How
this.
expensive?
Yeah.
How much more? Because fursuits, I've been told, are like thousands.
My hurdy-gurdy was 1.5k.
Okay.
It is by far the most I've ever spent on anything.
Oh.
Yeah,
Wow, that is.
What is? Wait, what is?
It's an
hurdy-gurdy?
instrument. It's an instrument hand crank.
Yeah, I'm checking it. I don't think I've ever seen this. What?
I think it's because it's a little rarer too to get. That's why it looks like it requires a lot more assembly versus. I mean, instruments are often more.
You have to find someone who makes hurdy-gurdies, and there are not very many of them.
Right.
They're okay. So they're a lot like a violin, except instead of a bow, you have a wooden wheel that you turn with a crank, and then instead of a fretboard, you have keys that you press in, and then those cut off the vibration of the string, kind of like bringing the fret to the string instead of pushing the string to the fret.
Oh wow!
Okay.
I've never seen
like
it.
a
Well,
fucking-
I'm very musically inept. So.
Would it be safe to say that you're into more obscure musical type pieces?
I mean, I really like European melodic metal. That's my thing.
Okay.
Right.
Strawberries.
Yeah,
Well, as long as you're not-
that's power metal was kind of what got me into metal, but I've been going into more stuff like A Forest of Stars recently, and Dark Tranquility, and heavier stuff than Stradivarius.
I mean, hey, as long as you're not fucking your dog, that's fine, dude. That's a benefit to have.
Not what?
As long as you're not fucking your dog, that's fine, dude. I mean, we already just talked about furries and shit. Any hobby is better.
Oh god.
Sorry, you heard about you watch Medicare? Do you hear about the Care of the Wolf?
Yeah, no,
thing?
I'm aware.
The Care of the Wolf thing, man. Ugh. Okay, so before we actually end the podcast, because we've been going for like an hour 20 minutes, what do we think of Caro? To be honest, like let's get it all out.
Cocodope made a video. Cocodope's one of my buddies. Like I have a bunch of friends who are in the furry fandom. I'm more like I orbit it because I have so many friends in it.
Motherfucker, you're watching a train wreck. Just admit it with me.
I've done commissions for the furry fandom. Nothing weird, but I've done a few.
I actually have a lot of affection for the furry fandom. I think that a lot of the stuff they do is really cool. But Kiro's fucked up, dude. I think that it's really easy to judge quickly, but I think that Cocodope made a video that goes into what we actually know and where the evidence is and how likely it seems that it's legitimate.
Like it's pretty clear at this point.
It seems extremely likely that to some degree Kiro was, and Kiro even admitted, being a part of this community for a while. I think like it's hard if he wasn't the one doing the actions, then it looks like he was at the very least interested in it in one form or another.
It's like the thing with furries and like bronies and shit. It's not a bad community necessarily, because at the end of the day, it's like
the
people
furry community is great. Like
yeah.
One thing that I keep having to explain to people is like these little niche like zoophilic communities, they have to hide. Because as soon as they're found out, they get ostracized.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Immediately. There is no tolerance for that shit. And like the people defending Kiro weren't saying, "Oh, he like that stuff is okay. Why are you freaking out?" They're like a couple of people, but they get called out immediately.
Yeah.
It's mostly people saying, "No, he didn't do it." That's how they're defending him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
Like, here's my thing. I have no issue with the furries. I really don't.
I don't.
I will say that I think that what they're doing, it's obviously a little up there. It's a little different.
Here's the thing. I've said it on streams, and like somebody sent me this big like giant email like not too long ago where they were like really defending. It's like, oh, I have to politically correct you on furries. I'm like, no, I don't hate fucking furries or bronies. Let me get that fact out there. I hate the people that are fucking their dogs and cats and parakeets. Okay, I made it very clear. Okay, if you fuck your dog, cat, parakeet, crocodile, whatever, lamb, okay, whatever you want to keep around you, that's wrong. Okay, that I don't have to tell you that's wrong. You should just know that's wrong. Okay, that it shouldn't even be like a question. You shouldn't have this GTA 5 like tutorial bubble on the top left of your life that says don't fuck your
Fido.
animal. Yeah,
Choose your answer.
fucking Fido will lead to a 1-star wanted level. Don't do it.
Okay. I know it's a fucking meme. I know it's a meme, but the Harkness test is legit.
Oh no!
Like,
What's that?
Wait, what is
okay,
that?
so the Harkness test. So are you aware of the character Jack Harkness from
Yes.
Yes.
Doctor Who? So
Yes,
the Harkness test is so it's named after him. There are 3 important things to verify before you can fuck something or someone. First, it has to be of proper breeding age. Second,
Okay.
it has to be intelligent enough to consent. And third,
Okay.
you have to be able to verify that consent in some very direct manner, usually verbally. So the image associated with it, like the image that got that going, is really funny. But like, it kind of makes sense because you think of science fiction, right? It's like, why is it okay to fuck an Asari? It's like, even if it's not human, it's like, well, because it's sentient
Yeah,
and can enthusiastically consent.
Dog doesn't say yes or no.
A dog
Oh,
is not
God.
intelligent enough. Like, it is not sapient.
No matter how much you think that dog is giving you the fuck me eyes, it probably
No matter
isn't.
how much peanut butter you put on your balls doesn't make it fucking right, guys. Let's get that out there. Be fucking
God.
real. Wow,
Oh
dude.
my fucking god.
So today's podcast, ladies and gentlemen, before we end it, went from talking about lolcows to sticking peanut butter on your genitals for your fucking animals.
What is it? Don't fuck lol cows, so don't fuck cows.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, we took the
God,
lol
yeah.
out of lolcows, dude.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Oh, you see, we are woke out.
Yeah, we will. We're learning to separate things quite literally.
My head feels bigger. I feel like I've grown.
I feel like
Fucking galaxy brain.
oh my god. All right, I guess we're gonna head out, boys, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Just like make sure to follow Fred's channel for more down the rabbit hole, because it's exactly what, if you like these kind of conversations, and if you have these conversations with your friends, don't fucking lie, because we all know you do. Definitely watch the videos out. Let's just get it out in the open. We've all had these we just did right now, publicly, might I add. Okay, you could only imagine the kind of shit that I would say when the record button isn't lit up.
Now say hi. Goodbye to everyone hearing. Goodbye to the agent listening.